Hello everyone, welcome to Joe Stories. Today is Saturday. I don't even know what day it is. I think it's like the 22nd? I don't know, lucky guess. Driving to get my son right now. Today is Sunday. It's basically my Monday. This is like the first full day of the week, and it's nice to go see him on this day. So I thought I might do something a little different and record while driving. I got up today around 8:30. Usually I get him around 10:30, and I don't know, I don't think I'm under the weather, but now you get like that shooting pain, and your sinuses, and you get it in your jawline. I think I was having that at least on Friday. I definitely knew I was having it on Friday, and today I feel like kind of heavy breathing, and I have a headache. And I had a headache last night. I took ibuprofen at like 3 a.m. So those things are usually, they knock you out, man. So I definitely am feeling a little groggy today, but I had a little coffee. I'm gonna go see him. It is raining in San Francisco a little bit. And yeah, I call this my Monday. It's probably going to be a short video. I'm going to be there in about maybe 10-15 minutes. I call this my Monday because when I was working at the store, at least the last year, I worked out my schedule so I could be there 6 days a week, so I could still get 40 hours and spread the time out. That was the sacrifice that I made. Don't get me started on that job. Not that I'm going to attack anybody, but usually when there's difficult situations at work, it's because of the people. And in essence, to be very, very honest, I'm difficult also, but more than likely I'm usually difficult for the people that don't really want to work and kind of want to use the system for their own benefit, and want to hide information and play a lot of games and kind of two-face around, and they act real mean to you, but then the upper managers or the owners, they're real nice. Oh yeah, I'll do anything you want, and it's just fake. And then even the upper managers and the owners, usually they don't even want to deal with it, because sometimes they're exactly like that. They just keep it more hidden because you're not around them a lot. And that's just, that's the work environment. Yeah, Sunday, I would work Sundays from 8 to 1, and that was nice. It was 8 to 2 until I found someone that was willing to come in and work from 1 to 8, or 1 to 9, because we were closing at 9 at the time. He was willing to do that after I talked to him a little bit. A few of the other people that I hired, they were so sketchy. They didn't last long, and they were caught for stealing. The guy that I hired was very reliable, and I learned as I went. I made sure that I called one of his references to see how he was, and the reference said, yeah, the guy, he always showed up on time. And that, to me, that was a sign of someone that takes personal pride in what they're doing, and on a personal level. And there was always more training that could be had, but with that kind of job, I didn't necessarily want to push the guys that I had because I needed them, but also there were certain things that they improved as we went along, which I really appreciated that they were doing. And I was carrying the load a lot on that place. 65-75% of the load was me, but they were there, showing up on time, working the register, doing some slight restocking. They didn't really keep the place that clean, but my job was to be in there, receive the orders, stock the shelves, price everything. That was my job. But they would show up and help me, and I am forever grateful. Not that I did everything on my own, but my job was to get that all set up with their help, and then set it up on a tee, basically, so that they could just, hit home runs all day, make sales, to just focus on that. And they did great, and I will forever be grateful for working with them. I really enjoyed my time with them. Which makes me think, my son is 2. I'm kind of getting a little bit out there here, but what if me and him ever found a way to work together? I think about that, but last night I was up and I was thinking about my own situation, my own family situation, which is really hard. But I did send my father a picture of my son. I thought that was important. Not that I'm trying to work anything or do anything or affect anything as far as that relationship goes, but I have a heart, and I just wanted to do that, and that's all that I did. Again, some of these things are very, very heavy, and sometimes this is life. But on the flip side, it's do you want to stay in the same place? I'm talking about just me. Do I want to stay in the same place, in the same programs and systems and everything that have been in place since I was a child, or do I want to move forward? Because sometimes you get both. You get told, yeah, move forward, I'm moving forward, but then you also get the same. So it can kind of throw you off a little bit, to put it nicely. Man, it's really raining here today. That's okay, because we are out and about. And that's that. But I felt good that I did it, that I set the picture more, just having a heart. Not that I'm trying to show that I have a heart or anything like that. I thought about it like I'm not a heartless person. And here's a nice, updated photo, and go from there. And like I said, hang on, hit that stop sign. Don't you love it when people, especially in the rain, man? I didn't mean to get, overly aggressive there. I mean, I did, of course the driver can't hear me, but they hit the stop sign and then they roll it, and they roll like halfway into the intersection. It's like, are you gonna go? Are you gonna crash into me? Are you gonna cut me off? And it's always in the rain for some reason. It's always, when it's raining, it's just like people go faster. They don't stop at the stop signs, the right turns as well. It's much more dangerous. And I drove, like I said, I drove Uber from February of 2015 to about, I think it was like September of 2019. And man, I drive in some weather. And I mean day, night. I probably have driven in every hour in the 24-hour cycle. 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 4 to 5, 5 to 6, all of them. Not consistently. My schedule was changing a little bit. I really aimed for the mornings, especially the early mornings, with a lot of airport rides, rides to the airport, but which is weird because I haven't gotten one airport ride since I started last Tuesday. Even though, well, Tuesday, but I also had started the previous Friday and Saturday. So I'll go that. Friday and Saturday of last week. So it's not that bad. And here's another driver. They pull right, past the crosswalk. And you almost kind of scared of you, But yeah, I think about that, working with my son. I don't know what we would be working on. There is a family business, per se, like the actual business, but there's also like a family, what do you call it? like, you know how they say, like, oh, it's in the blood. You know, everybody's a fireman, everybody's a policeman. Well, in my family, everybody's in real estate. You know, that's where it started, and it's in the blood. And I probably am very good at some things pertaining to real estate, just on how I think, based on how I was raised and my DNA and different things like that. You know, operationally, these things I've never done, but you know, I probably would be very good at some of that. And I know I have another job that I'm going to be starting here within the next few weeks. I was supposed to get my offer uh, last week, maybe by Thursday or Friday, but some people are on time off or something, so they're gonna do it next week. And then I have the drug test and the background check. Plus, I have to look over the offer and see what they're going to offer me hourly and things like that. I don't know if they're going to negotiate if they can, but we'll see. I might not have to, and I honestly I don't really want to. You know, I'm hoping that the offer is what they're saying, you know, that it is, especially on the high end, living in San Francisco, which is what I was hearing. If I get chinced, like I said, you know, I mean, I think it's nice to be a good person and a nice person, but if you get a sense of a feeling from different people, you also want to use those instincts to just kind of have awareness. There's nothing wrong with having an awareness, but you know, again, I'm starting a new job, and I want to fit in and just work my job. Um, but I don't know if they're gonna try to chintz it, which I hope not. But we'll see. We're here now, you know, with an offer soon to come. As far as the job goes, you know, like I was talking about, like real estate, I think it would be good to continue to go after a license, because you know that carries a lot of different things in my history of my journey of my life. You know, and I always equate it to like I mean, I'm not in music, but if you look at like an artist, let's say like Bob Dylan. You know, my dad really likes Bob Dylan. I got into him at a younger age in my teenage years, and I listened to him too. If you look at a guy like Bob Dylan, just to use it as an example, you know, every 2 or 3 years, or 4 or 5 at the most, he would do a different album. But he wouldn't just do the album. He would kind of have a different, like you know, section of his life that would change. He would change his music a little bit, and he would reinvent himself and try different things and make different records that sounded different. And you know, again, not that I'm a musician or anything, but just using that as an example, you know, I don't necessarily call them records, but different lifetimes. You know, like for example, you know, I was working at the store, you know, for 3 years or however long it was. That to me, that's a record. That's a lifetime. You know, it was a good, you know, beginning and ending, and that's where I was. And I leave that alone. It's the same thing. You know, if you look at like real estate, you know, throughout the different, you know, records or lifetimes that I've had and I've lived, it's been brought up, and I've thought about it in different ways. It's been brought up by other people that are close to me. It's been kind of detracted just a little more than a little bit by people who are close to me. It's been invested by me, but now it's like I look at it, I want to look at it in a different way, because when I was studying for the 6 months that I was doing to take the test, which I didn't take the test, I don't believe that I would have passed. But when I was studying for the test, it was like, this has a lot of like law, you know, like not lawyer stuff, but California law, you know, I don't know, federal law stuff that's in there that's very interesting. You know, different definitions and meanings of things. Not only that, different programs on how to do things. you know, not just, property rentals, but loans, mortgages, second mortgages, like I said, how to do it, but also the definition of what they even are. And it's very interesting. A lot of that stuff just really just opened my eyes that there's a lot of avenues, you know, and sales and things like that. So it is kind of an interesting business, not necessarily business, but, just structured program, however way you want to say it. And it's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool. A lot of the stuff that I was learning was really cool. And it was learning like history of real estate practices. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff. So doing it now, I would do it for me. Like where would I want to go with it, as opposed to doing it and then saying, okay, just, different people, okay, where, place me somewhere or put me somewhere, do this, for me, not that I'm like saying do it for me, because, sometimes that's what's being offered, but, different things like that. So, I'm going to start my new job again, but, it's never it's never a bad idea to kind of protect yourself with different things. And like I said, it's in the blood, so there's already a personal investment. But I think definitely finding what value it brings to me, as opposed to doing it and then saying, okay, where do I go now? That's never really a good way to do things. I'm just pulling up right now. Like I said, I just wanted to do a short video on the way to get my son. It's Sunday, it's raining. It's like my Monday. I feel tired, I didn't shave. Might be a little bit under the weather, but thank you everybody for listening, and see you later.